It turns out that I have a 15-year-old child who will now live with me, since her mother went to prison because of drugs. Hello, fellow dads. I'm a 32-year-old man who's about to embark on an unexpected journey into fatherhood. Let me share a bit of the backstory. During my teenage years, I was in a relationship with a girl, let's call her Kay. Our relationship ended abruptly when Kay decided to break up with me without providing any reasons. Fast forward approximately 15 years. And I found myself in a situation I could have never anticipated. The police arrived at my apartment one day, and I was soon informed that Kay had been pregnant with my child all those years ago. Following her recent arrest on several drug-related charges, Kay disclosed my identity as the father of her now 15-year-old daughter when asked about potential family care. A paternity test confirmed the truth. I am indeed the father. Today marks a significant turning point in my life as my daughter will be moving in with me. Up until now, my experience with parenting has been limited to taking care of dogs. I've never had children or a significant other to look after. Consequently, I find myself at a loss on how to be a dad, especially to a teenager. According to her social worker, my daughter has experienced neglect and is not accustomed to receiving care or living within a structured environment, which means adjusting to a new life with me might be challenging for her. The social worker emphasized the importance of patience, love, and support during this transition, even if my daughter may initially resist these gestures. I've prepared a room for her in my apartment, keeping it simple to avoid overwhelming her. As the moment of her arrival approaches, I'm reaching out to this community for support and any advice you can offer on navigating the complexities of fatherhood under such unique circumstances. Before an interesting update, I will respond to a few of your comments. Commenter, begin by engaging in conversation with her. Communicate your availability and readiness to support her. Take the time to understand her interests and passions, and then encourage them. Allow her the freedom to personalize her room according to her preferences. Starting at this point in her life, as you are, presents additional challenges because you missed out on witnessing her grow and discover herself. Ensure that the environment you create for her is both safe and inviting, and respect her need for privacy. She doesn't need strict discipline at this moment. Rather, she needs to know that she has a reliable figure in her life whom she can approach with any problem. My answer: having met her only twice, I acknowledge that beginning our relationship at this stage is notably more challenging than if she were a younger child or an infant. I recognize the significant adjustment this is for both of us. Therefore, instead of adopting a strict fatherly approach, I believe offering support is paramount. Another commenter: it's important to strike a balance and not to impose excessive strictness. However, it's worth noting that most children, including teenagers who often insist otherwise, thrive within a structured environment. Avoid the temptation to micromanage her daily activities excessively, but do establish clear, sensible limits and consistently adhere to them. This is particularly crucial for matters concerning her health and safety, such as setting curfews and knowing the company she keeps. My answer: yeah, that's what her social worker was saying. The best thing she needs is to have some structure. Another commenter: welcome to an unexpected journey, and quite the dramatic entry into the realm of parenthood. Firstly, navigating this alone isn't advisable. Rallying a support network around you will be crucial. This transition is monumental for both of you, but remember, she's facing it with significantly less life experience and without any foundational support. Tackling this solo is not the way forward. Placing myself in your position, the paramount piece of advice I'd offer is to lead with empathy. The road ahead will undoubtedly present challenges, yet it's vital to consider the myriad of experiences this young individual has already endured. Moreover, this represents an opportunity for you to emerge as a profoundly positive force in her life. Your influence could very well determine the trajectory of her future, steering it towards a brighter path. While acknowledging the immense responsibility and pressure this entails, it's also a unique chance to embrace one of the most significant roles you'll ever undertake. Embodying the essence of fatherhood means setting an example of what it means to be a good man. Despite the inevitable mistakes and hardships and moments of feeling inadequate, your consistent presence, care, and support will make all the difference. My answer: indeed, that's a tremendous amount of pressure. My parents have expressed their intention to provide significant support, and I'm fortunate to have a few close friends who are also ready to lend a hand. It's important to me to serve as a positive example for her. She truly deserves to have someone to look up to. Update. On Friday, I, 32, shared the news that my 15-year-old daughter, whom I had just discovered existed due to her mother's incarceration on numerous drug-related charges, would be coming to live with me. This revelation has necessitated a period of significant adjustment for both of us. Upon our initial meeting, I acknowledged the novelty of our situation and the inevitable adjustment period that would follow. It's apparent that she has endured considerable hardship. Her underweight condition and unfamiliarity with regular meals are telling signs. To make her feel more comfortable, I've placed a snack bin in her room, aiming to alleviate any need she might feel to conceal food, and have established fixed times for breakfast and dinner, with lunch included on weekends, to provide her with a sense of routine meal availability. She suffers from nightmares, often screaming in her sleep, which hints at traumatic experiences, though she has not shared the specifics with me, a conversation I am not rushing into. In response, I am in the process of arranging therapy for her, hoping it will offer some relief and support. On a brighter note, we've had moments that have allowed us to connect. She's shown a fondness for my dogs, enjoying walks together. She's an intelligent girl with a love for reading and an interest in basketball, details about her that I've come to learn as she gradually opens up. In turn, I've shared aspects of my life with her. Given our unfamiliarity with each other, her reserved nature is understandable. But despite these challenges, our situation is progressing positively and managing better than expected. Before an interesting update, I will respond to a few of your comments. Commenter: You're doing an incredible job, Dad. It seems like for the first time in a long while, perhaps ever, your daughter is experiencing a sense of safety and security. However, I'd like to share a piece of advice based on a similar experience a colleague of mine went through. He found himself in a situation akin to yours when he gained custody of his daughter after her mother was sentenced to prison for vehicular manslaughter due to a DUI incident. Like you, he was unaware of his daughter's existence until the mother's trial, and only met her once the mother was incarcerated. A few months into their new arrangement, his daughter ran away. Thankfully, she was found safe and returned to him, and everything turned out okay in the end. Through therapy, it was revealed that the positive and supportive environment he provided was so foreign to her that it overwhelmed her, leading to her running away because she didn't know how to cope with it. She wasn't accustomed to such stability and care, and part of her feared that it was too good to be true and might suddenly vanish. I'm sharing this story with you as a caution that your daughter might harbor similar fears and uncertainties. It's important to keep encouraging her, but also to ensure you don't push her beyond what she's ready for. It seems you're already sensitively attuned to her needs, as demonstrated by your thoughtful provision of a snack bin to ease her into the new living situation without overwhelming her. Your insight and instincts as a father are commendable. Keep up the great work. My answer: thank you for bringing this up. Another commenter: Dad, you're doing an amazing job so far. Keep it going. However, I need to share something important with you, drawing from my professional background, which might be a bit unsettling. Given the severe addiction issues of your daughter's mother, there's a significant risk that your daughter might have faced physical or sexual abuse. It's sadly not uncommon for children in these situations to be mistreated or neglected as their parent prioritizes substance use over their well-being. While we all hope this hasn't been the case for your daughter, it's crucial to be prepared for the possibility that she might confide in you about such experiences. Children often disclose these experiences to the adult they trust most, which, in your daughter's case, is likely to be you. Should she choose to share something of this nature with you, the best approach is to simply listen. Avoid asking probing questions. Just let her know through your presence and attention that you hear and acknowledge her pain. If she does disclose abuse to you, remember that in most jurisdictions you are obligated to report this to social services and law enforcement. It's essential to handle this conversation delicately, ensuring she understands that your actions are out of care and concern for her well-being. Your aim should be to listen, validate her feelings, and explain the necessity of reporting the abuse in one conversation. If she has more she wishes to share, let her take the lead. Listen without prompting her further on the subject. After any necessary reports are made, the authorities will step in to handle the situation. From that point forward, your role is to provide unwavering support for her. It's a difficult topic to consider, but being prepared is far better than being caught off guard. As a police officer specializing in child sex abuse cases and a forensic interviewer, I've seen how critical it is for a trusted adult to respond appropriately in these situations. I sincerely hope your daughter has not experienced any harm, but it's important to be ready to support her in the best way possible if she has. My answer: thank you. I definitely want her to feel comfortable enough to tell me things, but I'll never force it, and of course just listen to what she feels comfortable saying. Next update. Everything has been going quite well lately. Today, she was at the kitchen table doing her homework, and after finishing, she started playing with my dogs. However, she left a few papers out after putting the rest away. Curious, I asked her what those were, and she casually mentioned they were some tests she had taken that week. When I asked if I could see them, she agreed without hesitation. To my surprise, she had scored A's on 3 tests, in chemistry, history, and geometry, despite having been at the school for less than 2 weeks. I was genuinely impressed, not because I doubted her intelligence, but because she had just transitioned to a new school and was navigating a significant life change. I praised her achievement, sharing how, at her age, my focus was solely on sports and friends, rather than academics. Her response caught my attention. She said she enjoys learning and reading as it offers her an escape from life's challenges. It dawned on me then that this was her way of distancing herself from the difficulties she faced while living with her mom, channeling her energy into something positive like learning and reading instead. The realization saddened me deeply, considering what she must be going through. I am responding to your comments. Commenter: celebrate the wins, Dad. Showing encouragement and interest in her academic success, talent, will only help her treat it as a positive gift rather than an escape. My answer: I could tell she is used to not getting encouraged or at least told a good job because she kept saying, yeah, but it's no big deal. Another commenter: you're doing an incredible job. Keep it up. Initially, you mentioned not being a dad, but in reality, you are embodying the essence of fatherhood through your actions. Your previous update was truly heartwarming, highlighting how you've been providing her with emotional security, first with food and now through affirming her efforts academically. It's evident she's an exceptional young person who has endured some difficult experiences. Continue to stand by her side through all the ups and downs, reassuring her of your unwavering support and love, even during moments of conflict or disagreement. A valuable piece of advice I've consistently applied in my life is to never conclude an argument without expressing your love for them. This gesture provides immense emotional support during challenging times. It's a strategy that has significantly benefited my relationship with my children. My answer: thank you. I still don't think of myself as a dad, honestly. I think that just comes with time, though, doing dad things. Next update. Earlier, we decided to dine out because I wasn't in the mood to cook, and that's when I discovered my daughter had never tried tacos before. So we chose tacos for dinner. Our conversation was light and easygoing until a mother with her 2 young daughters, both seemingly under 10, entered. It was clear from their interactions that they shared a strong bond filled with love and joy. Observing this, my daughter became noticeably quiet and seemed fixated on them. I chose not to question her about it at that moment. It wasn't until we were on our way home that she opened up, mentioning how difficult it was for her to see daughters having a positive relationship with their mothers. She expressed feelings of jealousy because she never had that with her own mother. Following this confession, she began to cry and requested to be left alone for the rest of the evening. Witnessing her cry and feeling upset was profoundly challenging for me. It's tough knowing that, despite my presence and efforts to be a good parent now, she spent the initial 15 years of her life without a nurturing relationship with her mother. It's a reality I cannot change, no matter how much I wish I could. It's heartbreaking because she didn't deserve to face neglect or possible abuse. Currently, I'm just overwhelmed with sadness for my daughter and what she's had to endure. I am responding to your comments. Commenter: it's amazing that she's already so open with you. You must be doing something right. Keep it up, Dad. My answer: she just randomly will say stuff, then shut out for like at least a few hours and not talk. I don't know if it's because she feels safe, but then feels weird about talking how she feels or what it is. Another commenter: I've been following your updates. How has your relationship been going with her? How have you been doing? My answer: okay, I definitely feel like I've grown attached despite living a very different life compared to before having my daughter around and having to change really fast. I can tell she's a good kid, seems like she has big goals, but I can also tell she has a guard up constantly just by how she carries herself and how she acts. We mostly talk about my dogs, basketball, and football. I've shared stuff about me and she's shared what she wants about herself. Another commenter: I just wanted to share a bit about my own experience, as I have a daughter who's about to turn 17. It seems our situations might have some similarities, particularly concerning the mothers of our children. My daughter's mother struggled with drug addiction and was largely absent from her life, only really showing up when legal matters forced her to. Eventually, I gained full custody of my daughter when she was around 10 years old. Like your daughter, mine also struggles with her feelings towards her mother. Whenever her mom attempts to reach out or she's reminded of her, my daughter tends to spiral into quite dark emotional states. It's usually a sign to me that there's trouble brewing from that side of the family again. I'm reaching out to let you know that I truly understand how difficult and frustrating this situation can be. However, I urge you not to lose hope. While it's true that you may have missed out on some of the earlier years, there's still a whole lifetime ahead for you and your daughter to build a strong, meaningful bond. Speaking from my own experience with both younger and older children, there are unique and wonderful activities and experiences you can share with older children that might not have the same impact or might not be possible when they're younger. My answer: I'm sorry about your daughter's mom. I can tell my daughter's mom is a very touchy subject for my daughter. Thank you. I'm going to try and make up for the years of not being around. I did explain I didn't know about her, and that's why me not being around wasn't a choice I made. Next update. This entire week has been particularly challenging as she has consistently been confrontational and quite disrespectful towards me. During one of these heated exchanges, she confided in me about some deeply personal issues from her early life, details of which I choose not to disclose. In that moment, I did everything within my power to provide her comfort as she seemed to be on the verge of a panic attack. Following a period of silence, she unexpectedly complimented me on my parenting skills, despite me being relatively new to the role of a father. I couldn't help but laugh and express my gratitude, mentioning how much I've enjoyed being her dad. After another stretch of quiet, she softly thanked me, calling me Dad. Honestly, that moment was the highlight of my year, bringing me to tears of joy. I am responding to your comments. Commenter: Hey Dad, even though you've had some arguments, know that arguing with you can mean she feels safe. Safe you'll not kick her out, safe you won't hurt her in retaliation, safe to push boundaries, safe that she knows you'll still love her. Holidays are hard for trauma survivors. They bring up so much. I know you've created a home and resources to best support her and yourself. You're both amazing. We are all rooting for you. My answer: thank you. I think it's also her testing to see my reaction. See if she can trust me. Definitely a hard time. Thanksgiving was a bit hard on her today, and I know Christmas will be as well. Another commenter: Hearing your child call you Dad for the first time is an indescribably wonderful feeling. My own journey to this moment was unique. I only discovered I was the father of my eldest son when he turned 18, even though I had known since he was 13. His mother had her reasons for keeping this from both of us, and out of respect for her wishes, I remained silent on the matter. Throughout those years, I played the role of his babysitter, spending a great deal of time with him, especially during the summers. The revelation of our true relationship didn't change the dynamic of how we spent time together. One day, not long after he found out I was his dad, we were just hanging out at my place with a couple of his friends enjoying the backyard. As we got up to head to the car for something, he casually asked, "Hey Dad, think you could take us up to QT to get some drinks?" I agreed without thinking much of it until a moment later when it hit me. He had called me Dad. It took a moment to sink in, but when it did, it felt incredible. Our relationship isn't the typical father-son dynamic. It's more akin to that of siblings, with him often treating me more like an older brother than a parent. He's about to turn 30 soon, and I'll be following up with my 48th birthday 11 days after his. Despite the years that have passed, He has only addressed me as Dad twice. However, he acknowledges me as his father in conversations with friends or when explaining certain behaviors of his, saying things like, "Well, he is my father," to make a point. Even though these moments are rare, they are profoundly meaningful to me. Hearing him refer to me as his dad is truly awesome. My answer: that's great, you have what sounds like a good relationship with your son, and he also knows you are his father. Getting called dad definitely isn't a permit thing for my daughter. I'm still first name, but it is definitely awesome getting recognized as a dad by her. Most people actually think my daughter is my sister. We actually look a lot alike. I didn't think so, unit. I saw pictures of myself at 15. Last intriguing update. Just over a month ago, my daughter began exhibiting concerning symptoms. She was constantly fatigued, had lost weight that she had struggled to gain in the first place, appeared pale, and generally seemed to be in poor health. As a concerned parent, I took her to see several doctors. Initially, they believed she was suffering from a severe cold that was circulating at the time. However, as her symptoms persisted well beyond the typical duration of a cold, I sought additional medical opinions. Recently, one of the doctors recommended conducting some tests. As a new dad, there were moments when I questioned if I was simply being overly anxious about my daughter's condition. Today, we received a devastating diagnosis. My daughter has leukemia. It breaks my heart to see her facing such a significant challenge so early in life. I am filled with anger, sadness, and fear. Having witnessed family members undergo chemotherapy, I am acutely aware of the physical and mental toll it takes, and I dread the impact it will have on my daughter. She has been noticeably quiet since we received the news this morning. In this incredibly difficult time, I am reaching out to ask for your positive thoughts, messages of support, and any advice you might have to offer. How do you like this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.